You know what I think about pop psychiatry.
Yes, I know what you think about everything. When was the last time you had an unexpressed thought?
I'm having one now.
It's Sunday morning on CBS. And here again is Jane Pauley.
David Hyde Pierce shot to fame as Dr. Niles Crane on the hit TV series Frasier. He's also a Tony-winning actor, now returning to the stage in a new take on a Gilbert and Sullivan classic. Martha Teichner caught up with him on Broadway.
Yes, yes, he is a major general.
Yes, yes, I am a major general.
All David Hyde Pierce has to do is step out on stage, and he gets applause. Now watch as he launches into the idiotic tongue twister from the Pirates of Penzance.
I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral.
With practically no expression on his face, babbling away, all kinds of commotion around him. He's funny. Why do you think less is more can be funny?
So much of theater, rightly, is more. Sometimes what's unexpected in the theater is someone doing less.
Is there a temptation to overact?
Always. You remind me of a great line from Frasier, which was, if less is more, think how much more will be.
You've got that expression in your...
Yes,
suddenly you became Niles.
My brother is too kind. He was already eminent when my eminence was merely imminent. I'm conducting a seminar in multiple personality disorders, and it takes me forever to fill out the name tags.
It is thanks to his 11-year run on the TV mega hit that Pierce has the recognition and can afford to pick and choose his roles. He's the Major General in Pirates, the Penzance Musical, a jazzy reworking of the Gilbert and Sullivan classic, transplanted to New Orleans.
Anybody here from Penzance?
No!
I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical.
From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical.
Brava!
This looks old.
It is. It's almost as old as I am. This is one of the scores from my summer camp, but in the 70s, 1970s. And it's also the score that when we did the episode on Frasier, this is actually the score I used when I played it. And you can see there's Kelce's name and me and David Ogdensteyer's, where each part where we sang.
I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical, from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical.
What does Gilbert and Sullivan mean to you?
Well, it must mean something, because I'm getting emotional thinking about the question. I guess it's just because it's been threaded through my life for so long.
For my military knowledge, though I'm plucky and adventurous, has only been brought down to the beginning of the century, but still it matters.
These are photos of all the people who were in this dressing room before. Famous people, a lot of dear friends of mine. Yeah, I'll be up there eventually. Tradition is very important to us. It's being aware that you're part of something bigger.
David Hyde Pierce's Pirates dressing room is full of nods to the emotional touchstones that define him.
Just down here in this little corner is probably one of the most important moments of my life. You know, talking to my dad about a show I was doing at a time when I didn't even know that that's what I was going into. Had no idea what was lying ahead.
Pierce's father and his grandfather were amateur performers.
The disease runs in the family. I just hadn't been diagnosed, I guess.
He set out to be a concert pianist. He still plays every day, but decided to become an actor instead while he was a student at Yale. What brought you to comedy?
I think it has to do with what I was drawn to. I watched reruns of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
And finally, she turns and falls with it.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Grandpa. My hands were full.
And Mary Tyler Moore and All in the Family.
Gee, I hate to ask for help. Well, that's good, because I hate to give it.
And then, when I was a teenager, Monty Python's Flying Circus came to American television on PBS, and my head blew off.
Mr. Beauty,
The very real problem is one of money. I'm afraid that the Ministry of...
I loved Alec Guinness. Oh, and Buster Keaton. Oh my God, Buster Keaton.
It's impossible not to see a hint of Buster Keaton in Pierce's famous ironing board scene from Frasier.
I do want people to be able to laugh.
Why? What does that mean to you? Why is it important?
I guess it's the perception of connection. For example, doing a comic film is not nearly as enjoyable for me as doing a comic play.
And in a comic play,
In a comic
you hear
play,
the laughter.
You feel from the audience the connection. That's what I'm in it for. That's where I started out. I love that.
For almost as long as he's been in it, his partner along the way, his husband since 2008, has been actor-writer Brian Hargrove. Here they are with their dog, Alice. They met at an audition, became friends, and only later discovered they were both gay.
Brian had me over to dinner at his apartment.
I did his taxes.
To do my taxes.
I used to have a tax business as well as an actor.
Yeah, that's not a metaphor. That's actually what he was doing. He was a tax practitioner. And then we were going to see this movie, and it came up. We went back to his apartment, and as Brian puts it, I never left.
That was in 1983. It was Brian who suggested moving to California, which led to Pierce being cast as Dr. Niles Crane alongside Kelsey Grammer in Frasier.
What is it that makes us Crane boys such targets?
40 years, 4 Emmys, and 2 Tonys later, he chose not to be in the Frasier reboot. He was playing Julia Child's husband, Paul, at the time on HBO.
We're not suckers, Julia, falling for the latest fad.
Well, maybe TV's not a fad.
Good Lord, it has to be.
I've been very happy with what originally came to me, and then when I've been able to make choices in my career, in the choices I've made. And my creativity is fueled by change and by diversity.
Which is why David Hyde Pierce said yes to Pirates and a new chance to make people laugh in one of his old favorites.